with the main event of this podcast, and that is my opinions on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And now that I've already talked about it once for a solid 20 minutes, it should be a bit smoother and easier in my head. But I also want to go get some water, but I also don't want to pause it again because I don't want to stuff up anymore in this recording. I just want to get it done. It's taken so much out of me. This is easily the worst recording I've done. I hope it's at least okay for you guys. So yeah, let's get right into it. My thoughts on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. God damn, I really do need some water. Okay, so I think I started off with a general overview. So, the Marvel Cinematic Universe started in 2008 with the first Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk. So it's been going for 9 years now. It's had some ups and downs. I'll see if I can try and recover that talking sheet, because I didn't write down my thoughts on it, but I had a couple of talking points. No, it doesn't look like I can. Alright, okay, so a brief thing. Okay, so the MCU started 9 years ago. Iron Man, most recent edition is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which came out a week ago? Yeah, a week ago. It's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 movies so far. 3 Iron Man, 3 Captain America, 2 Avengers, 2 Thor, 1 Incredible Hulk, 1 Ant-Man, 1 Doctor Strange, and 2 Guardians of the Galaxies. So they're doing very well for themselves. Okay. I really want to try and remember everything I said because I was really happy with how it turned out. Alright, so I'll start off with saying I like the MCU. I feel like a lot of the time the lads give it a lot of criticism, sometimes a bit of hate, but I really like it. I think it's good. There's obviously some highs and lows. Well, I'll go over some things I find positive, some things I find negative. And then I'll just, talk about the movies themselves. Alright, so a couple things I think the MCU lacks is depth. Alright, so the thing I mean there is that while they have a ton of 15 movies over the last 9 years, that's pretty impressive. The thing that most of these movies have lacked is themes like loss and what was I said before? Most of the time they just seem like they're having too much fun while a lot of this stuff is going on. Like, they're cracking jokes all the time, which I don't mind a bit of humour, because I know the MCU is mainly directed at families, small children, older adults. So, unless they're really big Marvel fans, people my age, late teens, young adults, we're not going to be as invested in it, because there's just so much humour, and the tone of it just isn't great a lot of the time. Sometimes when they try and go for specific emotions, it doesn't register the right way. Like in Civil War, they're trying to, as the title suggests, they're trying to convey a sense of war and loss and sometimes hopelessness and conflict and everything. But during their big fight, they're cracking jokes at each other, and it doesn't work well in some scenes, in quite a few scenes, honestly. But on the other hand, things I find positive about it. Sometimes I like the humour. The humour's a nice touch. They're fun to watch, these movies. If you separate yourself from the idea of if you separate yourself from the idea of it being a comic book movie and stop thinking about a source material, you can honestly have a lot of fun watching these. Another thing I said was the music is good. The lads have talked about this, so I don't want you to jump to conclusions before I start talking about the score and like the soundtrack and everything. I'm not going to make a lot of comparisons to the DCEU because it's not fair on either one. But I will say that the thing that I agree with the lads are the DCEU soundtracks are absolutely incredible. You can't go wrong with them. And the best thing about them is that they're memorable. Like, each character's theme from BVS was like big, strong, unique. You could tell who was being partnered with what most of the time. I think most of us guessed when the soundtrack was released whose theme belonged to who quite a bit. And one interesting thing they did was no, don't worry. And while the MCU films haven't had the same impact with their score, it still worked quite well within their own movies. And so, to me that's a positive. Their music works for them, and that's fine. One thing I thought was both a negative and a positive was their sense of rewatchability. Some movies, it's a one and done thing. You've watched them just for the sake of watching them, and then that's it. You won't really ever bother turning it on again. But other movies, you'll watch 2 or 3 times, and even if it's just on the TV when you go out into the lounge room, you'll just sit down and just relax for a little while. I'll go about that when I'm talking about some specific movies. So yeah, those are a couple of things I find positive and negative about the MCU. So I've got the list of movies up just by typing in Marvel Cinematic Universe on the Google. It's got a lot of random additions, like the Fantastic Four movies and the Amazing Spider-Man and Man of Steel for some reason, which is weird, but I know what's MCU and what's not. So first up, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 came out very recently. I thought it was really good. Hayden and Jake said there were a lot of pacing issues, I think it was. It didn't really affect me too much. It was just an enjoyable watch. The Guardians films have their soundtracks are great. Like, there's no denying it. The soundtracks are good to listen to. Bring back some nostalgia hits, It's fun. It's fun. Get over it. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I think differs from Volume 1, specifically in its rewatchability. This is one I was very much thinking of when I thought about that. Volume 2, I feel like, and this can be a positive and a negative trait. It's probably a negative trait to the movie itself, but positive in the way I'm speaking about it, is that it's kind of separated itself from the MCU, in that there weren't really any major ties to the first Guardians movie, or Avengers Infinity War, which comes out next year. And so that makes it just a really good, fun movie to just casually watch when you don't have to worry about the rest of them to think of, and try and piece together all those little tidbits of facts that the rest of them have thrown in to link all these movies together. So, in the sense of rewatchability, I think that's a really good thing. But to connect it to the rest of the MCU, I don't. It's not the best thing they could have done. I'd say it's probably up there with one of the ones I like the most. I know what my top 3 is based on, me discussing them before, but yeah, it's up there. The first Guardians movie, it was good. It was very fun. I watched it quite a few times. The thing I felt left a sour taste in quite a few people's mouths was the dance-off scene, which, as I said before, isn't a bad thing when you're thinking of its family-friendly audience. It's just a chuckle. But as I said, for people my age, it kind of dragged us out of the experience a bit, because it was supposed to be a really big, conflicting scene between the major antagonist of the movie and the Guardians, and then you just see Chris Pratt, frosting, and it's unnecessary. Civil War. Now, we've all talked about Civil War quite a few times. Civil War is a movie I wanted to love. I feel like making the Civil War storyline, the MCU dug themselves into a hole they couldn't get out of, which is unfortunate because the Civil War story is a great one. It's absolutely fantastic. But the movie wasn't anywhere close to it. We're going back to the tonal issues. This is the movie I think that demonstrates the best of all. As I said before, the airport scene when these two sides are fighting for the first time, all these friends are betraying each other one by one, and everyone's just hurting each other. But then you stop and hear lines like Hawkeye and Black Widow will we still be friends after this? Spider-Man and Cap talking about, coming from Queens and Brooklyn, it was a nice little nod towards the two of them, but it didn't have a place there. I feel like that could have been a little line of dialogue, maybe when the two of them were fighting together in Infinity War. I feel like there should have been an Avenger death in that movie, but the closest we got was War Machine being crippled, and even that was being healed by the end of the movie. And then by the end, you'd learn that the person that Cap was trying to protect the entire time, his old friend Bucky, had killed Iron Man's parents. Not only was Cap's side in the wrong from the start, but he also covered for his friend doing that. You're supposed to hate these guys, right? But then, well, I'm sorry, you can feel however you want towards them. Iron Man and the good guys are supposed to hate these guys, right? But instead, it just seems like nothing. Captain America delivers a BlackBerry to him to phone him up whenever he wants a pal to talk to. It's just, there wasn't enough loss in that movie. I know that it sounds terrible because it's a movie that's supposed to be a bit more fun because it's a Disney Marvel movie, but I feel like that storyline dug themselves too deep a hole, and it's really unfortunate because as a movie I wanted to love more than any other MCU film, it's unfortunately my least favourite, and that sucks to me. That really sucks. The first Avengers, watching that when it first came out in 2012, absolutely loved, saw it so many times, but nowadays it doesn't interest me, so that once again reinforces the fact that these movies are fantastic, absolutely incredible for younger and older audiences, but people my age aren't as into the market, which is okay, because, we can still have fun watching them if we kind of separate ourselves a bit. It's just a good movie that brings all these people together. It was like the first time it'd been done probably since the really old, 1960s Avengers and all those movies. But this is like the first time we saw it on a major scale, and that's always gonna be special to me. Ant-Man. So Ant-Man's probably one of my favourite Marvel movies so far. Paul Rudd is fantastic. They do jokes, but it works. I don't know how specifically, but this is a movie where a lot of the times they didn't really need any loss, because it's like it's an origin story, so they didn't really need anyone to die or anything, and so they could crack a few jokes, which I didn't mind. It wasn't always a major, like, serious movie. It was a movie that could be fun, which, you know, was good for the Marvel formula. It means they could just do it and it wouldn't really suffer many knockbacks. I think Ant-Man's probably had the most benefit from that, honestly, out of all of them, which is really good. I think that's why I like it so much, because the story of it worked so well with the formula that Marvel has been giving. Captain America, the First Avenger, and the Winter Soldier, I'll talk about them together. So, the First Avenger is also in my top 3 of favourite Marvel movies so far. I thought it was a fantastic origin story. The setting, the World War II setting, because it was different from the modern setting that most of these other movies have, worked so well. Something different is always nice to have. I think it dropped a bit in Winter Soldier, not too much, because it was still a good watch, but yeah, it wasn't as great as the first one. It just seemed like a necessary film to like put Bucky and Falcon in the universe, but it didn't seem like it was that important to MCU as a whole. Nevertheless, I still enjoyed it, but yeah, it didn't stand out to me too much. Doctor Strange was something completely opposite to Civil War, where I wanted to hate it, but I couldn't. I'm not a fan of Benedict Cumberbatch. That's just plain fact. People have known that. I don't know why I'm getting so close to the ending time when I think the last podcast. Oh, sorry, the last recording I did went to 58 minutes, but we're already at 50, almost at 58. I don't know why I'm catching up so quickly. This is probably going to be such a shitty listen. I'm sorry, everyone, for this. There's just been so many problems. But nevertheless, let's get on with it. Yeah, Doctor Strange looked amazing. One problem I had with Benedict Cumberbatch being casted was, in every role I'd seen him prior, he always just seemed to play Benedict Cumberbatch. He didn't seem to be playing a character at all. That changed in Doctor Strange. I feel like he actually was playing the character, and that was a welcome surprise. I was very happy about that. Yeah, as expected, the visuals were absolutely incredible. The story was good. Yeah, it was just a good watch. The first Thor movie, I really enjoyed it. I feel like it was a really solid movie. I don't know what it lacked for me, but there was something missing. For something that came out in like 2010, 2009, 2011. Okay. I don't know what it was, but something just didn't seem right in it. But I still managed to enjoy the hell out of it, which is a welcome. It's a welcome thing. If you can enjoy something, even though you can tell that there's things wrong with it, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. On the contrary, though, For the Dark World, which is probably my second least favourite MCU movie behind Civil War, I will stress again, I did enjoy all of these movies while watching, for the most part. However, it just being like cinematic experience or small tidbits that, just annoyed me. They were all still enjoyable. For the Dark World just seemed similar to The Winter Soldier, but a couple degrees more unnecessary. I feel like that's one that didn't really need to... it didn't introduce any new characters, it didn't further along many storylines apart from, helping develop Loki a bit more. It just seemed like Marvel, Disney were just trying to, you know, hand out a movie for that year, and that's what they did. It's something another thing I should have loved but didn't. Avengers: Age of Ultron. Okay, so this is one that introduced many new characters, like Vision, bloody Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Ultron. Did a lot more stuff for the Infinity Stones, which is always important because, Infinity War is all about that and the Gauntlet and whatnot. It did a lot of development for Hawkeye, who didn't get much time in the first movie. I think it was good. It's another one I feel like, as important as it was to the Avengers trilogy and helping continue the MCU storyline as a whole, it's another one that I think was just passing time until the next big movie was coming out. Nevertheless, it was still important. It was still very enjoyable for me. Incredible Hulk. Alright, so I have split feelings about the Incredible Hulk, and those feelings are purely based on whether or not I feel it belongs in the MCU. I know it counts, and everyone will say that it's part of the MCU, but to me, because it's got such a different tone and formula, and because they replaced Edward Norton with Mark Ruffalo in the Avengers, I feel like the Incredible Hulk, should be separate from the MCU, which is both a good and bad thing for me, because the MCU needs a movie like The Incredible Hulk, but because it was the second movie of MCU, and because of these casting changes and the way that the Hulk looks extremely different and all of that, I feel like it's been overshadowed a lot and forgotten. And, it just seems like a big shame to me. It's my second favourite movie in the MCU, if I'm counting it. And, I just feel like I feel like it doesn't get the respect it deserves, but also it deserves to be its own thing. It's a difficult thing to talk about. It's hard to explain. And then the last three are the Iron Man trilogy, which I think I might be the only lad who really, really enjoyed all three movies. The first Iron Man was incredible for me when it came out. Fell in love with the character of Iron Man. I thought he was badass and awesome. Iron Man 2 did a lot to further it along, did an introduction to Black Widow, which is the introduction she needs. She doesn't deserve her own movie. I'm sorry, but she doesn't. She's not that great a character. She's not a hero. She's an agent. She's a good B-plus player. And the introduction to Iron Man 2 is the introduction she deserves. Iron Man 3, as I said before, I fell in love with the Iron Man character. The armor is incredible, and so seeing that teaser for all the suits coming together to fight, I thought was really freaking awesome. For a movie in 2013, that just looked amazing to me, because I was still playing some random Facebook Marvel game at the time. I was doing my best to collect all those suits, and I just love that movie so much. And because of that, because of how I felt when I first watched it, it's my third favourite Marvel movie. So my top three are Ant-Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 3, and my bottom two are For the Dark World and Civil War, which sucks. It sucks so much that those two are down the bottom. The future of these movies. Where did I get the list of them up? Sorry guys, give me a second. There it was. Okay, so this year we've got Spider-Man Homecoming, which should be incredible because Spider-Man and Black Panther as introductions in Civil War stole the show, I'll say. They did absolutely incredibly. And Homecoming is the film that Spider-Man fans and MCU fans have been waiting for, where the two are finally together after so long. And I hope, as much as I love the Iron Man character, I truly hope that he does not have as much input in it as the trailer suggests. I feel like those parts of the trailer are all he needs to be in. That's it. Just a couple scenes as like an old mentor. That's it. Let it be focused on Spider-Man, because he as a character deserves this. The fans deserve this movie. I think it's going to be spectacular. For Ragnarok, something else that I'm praying so much is going to be good. But the trailer has lost me a little hope, because while the trailer looked good, to me it looked more like it was a Planet Hulk movie than, for Ragnarok. It didn't seem anything like that storyline was going to take place. And, as a fan who's expecting Ragnarok, I want Ragnarok. I don't want Planet Hulk, even though it's a great story. Then 2018 we got Black Panther, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Infinity War. All three of those I'm looking forward to quite a lot. As I said before, Black Panther was one of the people who stole the show. Ant-Man and the Wasp and Ant-Man sequel I'm always happy for. And Infinity War, I'm very much looking forward to it. Probably not as much as Justice League, but still, I feel like I'm very excited to see what 10 years of work has gone towards. 2019, we have Captain Marvel and the untitled Avengers film, which was weird because I thought that was coming out in 2020, and Spider-Man Homecoming 2, which I had no idea was coming out in 2019 either. Captain Marvel, I've got no thoughts on right now because I haven't known anything about it, apart from Brie Larson. Untitled Avengers film, I'll have no idea on. Homecoming 2, I don't want to talk about until I've seen the first one. And then we've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which doesn't have a release date yet. So as a future of the movies, I feel like a solid, strong 4 are, I accidentally clicked something, so I have to go back to it. Come on, okay. A solid, strong 4 are Homecoming, Black Panther, Infinity War, and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Those 4, I think, are going to be really good, at least for me, and for the major MCU audience. For Ragnarok and Captain Marvel, I'm praying are good. I really hope they are. Captain Marvel's going to be, I feel like as a character she'll be a welcome addition. But, we'll see how it goes. Alright, so just a general overview of my final thoughts on the MCU. I admit it has a lot of faults. I'm not going to say the MCU is perfect. I'm not even going to say it's absolutely fantastic or perfect or phenomenal or anything. I think for what the MCU is, it's done very well for itself, and it's really good. If it sounds like I'm whispering, it's because it's now 10 to 11 at night. I'm trying to record this again. I think that the MCU, as a family-friendly comic book story, is a lot more than what the lads talk about it as half the time. I think when we really sit down and think about it, it's actually really good. Obviously, as I said before, it's not for us. It's for the die-hard Marvel comic book fans. It's for the kids who love superheroes. It's for the parents who want a good movie to watch with their kids. For the adolescents and the young adults, we'll be more drawn to things like the DCEU, where storylines are a bit more intense and have a lot more detail, and they're more films than movies. But the MCU, that doesn't make it bad in the slightest. It's really good. And yes, there's always going to be problems with it, but for a story that spanned on for 9 years, almost 10, to culminate for something that should be epic. I think they've done very well for themselves, and they deserve the success that they've gotten. There's always going to be split fans on sites like comicbook.com who are very one-sided and either die-hard Marvel or die-hard DC, but I'm so happy that I'm one of the ones who can proudly say that I'm a massive fan of both the MCU and the DCEU. I think that, they even complement each other. If the DCEU started with Man of Steel and it was a movie like Captain America, it's very similar in a lot of aspects, but also Man of Steel is just so much more advanced, which makes, that sounds rubbish. That sounds absolutely trash. I think that the two complement each other, because if we had a movie from each side, if we had Man of Steel and Captain America and they were the exact same movie, the characters just had different names and powers, then, what's the point? What's the point? So, it's a really good thing that we have one universe that's meant for so many casual audiences and one that's meant for, fans of detail and loss and story. I have said negative things about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I won't take any of them back because, I mean it. But I also mean it when I say that it's important to have, and it's really, really good if we just sit back, separate ourselves from trying to link it back to all its source material, and imagine how reflective it is of all these base stories like Civil War. I feel like we can enjoy them so much more than we actually do if we just go in for a popcorn movie rather than a film. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the MCU. It's really good, and it doesn't deserve half the hate that it gets, even though it's the more favourite of the two brands these days. Alright, so that about sums us up. Hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to record this a third time. I bloody well hope not. Thank you all for listening and bearing with me throughout this roller coaster. Recording this hour and 13-minute long podcast has taken me 6 hours. And, I'm so tired and frustrated. But, I had fun nonetheless. Hope you did too. Leave me your thoughts down below on the MCU, whether you thought my points were stupid, whether you agreed with some of them, whether I brought up things you hadn't thought of before. Let me know your favourite and least favourite MCU movies. Just tell me what you thought. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Just pass it around. Let's just get this out there a bit more. Appreciate the support that you guys have given me so far, but let's step it up a notch. I'll try my best to keep providing content that you guys think is good in the slightest, and I hope you keep listening. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Bye.